Hello everybody, it's Debbie here with Debbie Stamping Creations. This is just a reminder that this catalog is ending the end of the month, which is here in another couple of weeks. So if there's something in here that you're wanting, a lot of stuff is already marked down and a lot of it is already sold out. But if there's something in here that you're wanting, now would be the time to order that. In January, we do start with our new mini catalog and with celebrations. And celebrations is from the 4th of January to the 28th of February. If you do not have a demonstrator and you would like to receive these, please let me know as soon as possible so I can get them to you. And let's get started with today's card. The original card that I was going to show you today is this pretty Christmas card. Wishing you Christmas cheer and magical moments that last all year. And this is a double panel accordion fold card. I'm kind of on a kick of fancy folds here the last couple days. Anyway, I just checked and this is sold out. We're going to change the card up a little bit today. And we're going to use a set that's out of our annual catalog. And that is our Plentiful plants. And as you can see, this comes in the dies and the stamp set. Let me look really quick and tell you where this is. I love this set. Where you're planted. Plentiful plants. It also has designer series paper that's really awesome. So Plentiful Plants is on page 81 of the annual catalog. And it's a suite. So for $65, you would get your designer series paper, your stamp set, and your dies. The designer series paper is pretty cool because your dies not only fit, I've got too much stuff going on here, not only fit your stamps that you can stamp, but they also fit some of the papers. So you can see the papers. This is awesome because you can cut this right in half and either use it as a scrapbooking page or as a card front. And you've got your design already done. Here's the two that go, nope, I've got two of the same one. That isn't what I wanted. I need the one with the plants on it. Anyway, these are the two that your dies fit on. So you can die cut out your pots and you can die cut out the plants. It's not just on this one you would have to fussy cut. But you can also cut these out of your stamped images. Today, for the card that we're going to do, I've cut them out of the paper. And I've used the die cuts and cut this pot. And then I cut out a couple of, nope, that's not it. Yeah, it is. I cut out a couple of these. So that's what we're going to be using on our card today. As you can probably tell, I'm a paper person. I love it when the paper works so well with the stamp set and makes things so much simpler sometimes to do. But anyway, that's what we're going to be using. We will be making this double panel accordion fold card. So let me show you this cardstock we're going to be using. Now we're starting with, I'm going to use Garden Green. And I'm going to have to score this as we go because I don't have things scored ahead of time. So let me grab my cutter here. This is Garden Green and it's 5.5 by 11. So it's cut a little bit different than the standard cards that we usually do. And we are going to score this at 1 3/4. Three and a half. Five and a quarter. And 7. And this is going to give us our card base. You can see the 4 score marks on here. Now we're going to take this and we are going to, I have to double check we're going to start with the folding back. And then we're going to score this one. And back again. So you're just going to go the opposite, opposite, opposite. And here is our card base. Okay, so the next pieces that we are going to need, you will need to decide which designer series papers you want to use. I have 2 of them here. And these measure 1 1/2 by 5 1/4. And these pieces are going to go here and here. 1 1/2 by 5 1/4. Let me go ahead and attach those down. I'm using green glue. And let's get this one attached. Trying to keep from getting glue all over my fingers. I'm sometimes pretty sloppy with glue. It's not always my friend, but it sure helps when I'm trying to get something centered straight. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do on this card is we are going to do some stamping. And what we're going to do is we're going to stamp on these 2 sections just very faintly, just to give it a little bit of design here. So I've chosen to use this stamp here. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm using garden green ink on garden green paper. So it's just going to give it a little detail, and I'm going to stamp off before I stamp on my card. So that way it's going to, like I say, just give you a little bit without too much. And there's no pattern, it's just enough to give it just a little bit of something in there so you don't have that plain paper. We could, and as you can see, it's still kind of a dark pattern, so it's enough that it's going to show, but it's not going to overwhelm it. So now we've got just a little bit of design there. Okay, so the next piece we're going to do is going to be our piece that folds across here. This second piece, let me show you this one here. This is in the pink. See how that's going to fit on there? So we're going to go ahead and do that. And this is gray granite, the piece that I've chosen, and it's 3 inches by 6 inches. And we're going to score it at the 3-inch mark. So we're going to cut it in half, and so you're going to have 2 3 by 3 squares on here that we're going to use. So there's that. Let's go ahead and get that folded over. Okay, now I've cut a piece of designer series paper to go on here. And this again is just to give it a little bit of design, and this piece measures 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So we can get that put on. You can see that's the back of our pot paper. The paper with the pots on it. I never did finish showing you the papers. The papers are so cool. Sorry, let's get in here and look at these papers. Look at the prints on these papers. There are so many cool prints, and these are easy to fussy cut out to put on your cards. There's the pot one. I've got 2 of that one. And when you turn them over, on the back we have the bricks and the wood. Look at the wood grains on these. And here's a little nice pattern. So that's the papers, and we're using the back of the one with the pots on the front for that part. Now for the front, I have another piece of basic white, and it is also 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And we are going to stamp. Actually, for this one, I'm going to change it up just a tad because I need a thank you card. So we're not going to do to the dear friend. We're going to do thank you. And I'm going to stamp this again in garden green. Oh yeah. Let me get this just where I want it. I want it close to the bottom so I can put my flower pot right above it. Oops, I messed that up. Good thing we have 2 sides. I saw the green up here, and I was trying not to get that on my paper, and I didn't push hard enough to get the whole greeting. There we go. There's the thank you. Now, I have cut out ahead of time a flower pot and a couple of these greeneries. So, the way I'm going to put this together, so I'm going to start with just a little bit on the back of this so that I can adjust my plants the way I want them. And then I'm going to put it on here. So let's kind of move this one over a little bit so it fills up. Then we're going to put glue on the back of here. Whoops. Not too much. This is why I don't do so well sometimes with glue. I tend to get carried away. And we're going to put this right on top of the thank you. And it's okay if the plants go over a little bit because this is going to be on here. Okay, so let's go ahead and attach that. And we have that piece completed. Let's let that set for a minute while we go ahead and work on the inside piece. And that piece is basic white, and it is 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. Now I have cut out an extra one of these, and I'm going to attach this down here in the corner just to give it a little bit of pulling it together. I'm not going to put it in a pot. And I'm going to stick it right on the corner with some glue, and then I'm going to trim off the outside so that it's just going to give us a little bit of greenery to pull the other greenery together. Actually, I think I'll wait until I get it. Oh, no, I won't. I'm going to cut that off with a pair of scissors and just trim it so that it's just got a little bit coming out the corner. That just adds just something that sometimes little bits of things can just help a little bit. All right, so let's go ahead and start putting this down. Now when we do this one, we're going to fold this. Oh, that's an extra. And when we close this up, we want to make sure that this is going to sit like this. So you can see it comes over to just about the pot part. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on this side. We're going to glue the back of the front portion. We're going to get it where we want it. We're going to put this over here. Now we can press this down and it's going to be where we want it on the card. And with using the green glue, you still got a minute to move it a little bit. If you hold it up and look at it and decide that, oh no, I want it higher or lower, or you can adjust it. So there, we've got that front part done. Now we're going to come around here and we are going to put some glue on the back side. And again, we're going to just fold this over, fold this up, and now we have that portion of the card done. And see, by doing that little bit of stamping in here, it just gives it so there's something there and it's not too plain. Now we can take this piece. I was going to stamp something on the inside, but I think I'm going to leave it blank because I really want to write this person a thank you note. So we're going to put this on here. And there we go. That was pretty easy, and it's a pretty cool card. People like these kind of cards with these fancy folds where they get them in. I mean, they can set this up and display it. It's got all kinds of pretty in there. Now we're going to do, the last piece I have here is a garden green belly band. And this is just going to be to hold it closed. You can see it's going to slide down over the front just to hold it closed while it's being sent. So this is 3/4 of an inch by 10 inch, and I've scored it at 3 1/2. By scoring at 3 1/2, which I have not done yet, we will do that right now. Score at 3 1/2. That gives us the bend on one side, and that way you can wrap it. When you put a belly band on, you want to make sure that you put it tight enough that it's going to hold, but not so tight that it's going to tear when you go to take it off. And for belly bands, I always use the tear and tape, and that's because this is a piece that they're going to be using up and down, and you want to make sure that it's not going to come apart. So to do this, you take your scored end, which is right here, and you're going to put it around here. You want it right above the greeting. Then you're going to wrap this part around. And like I said, you need to make sure you leave it loose enough that it's going to slide up and down, but tight enough that it's going to hold. So we want to make this a little bit looser. And I'm going to do it about right here. It's one of those things that you just kind of play with until you figure out how tight you want it, because especially depending on who you're giving it to, you don't want them to have to struggle with getting it on and off. So you can see this. Now if you wanted, you could come back and put a little plant or something over here to kind of pull it together. See, if I put that on there, it kind of all goes with the other plants, and it also covers up that line here where we've connected it. So we could do that, or we can just leave it plain. I think I'm just going to leave this one plain. So there's the card for today. Now I have plenty of place to write that. Don't forget, when you're doing your cards, you always need to finish off the back of the card. A lot of times when I'm doing my videos, I get so busy concentrating on what I'm supposed to be doing, and I tend to forget to do this. But this is an important step. This way people know when and who has made this card for them. So I'm going to stamp this. We have stamps that are available in the catalog for stamping, or if you don't have a stamp that says stamped for you or stamped, you know, hand stamped, you can always just use a stamp out of the stamp set that you're using. So, you know, it's just up to you, but it's a great way to make sure that they can see who made this card. All right, well, thanks for watching today, and remember, when the end of the week, I'm going to start my sneak peeks of the new catalogs from January to June and the celebration stuff. So make sure you come back and watch. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button below, and I will be doing some giveaways here starting next week. So make sure you get subscribed there and follow so that you can make sure you don't miss out on anything. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.